How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dyson Sphere Project. Is it project or program? I think it's program. I don't know why I think it's project. I think because everything else is fucking project when it's with a P. You have Project Zomboid, Project Hospital, City Project Red. I don't know. I'm probably going to make that confusion a lot. Feel free to correct me in the comments section. Speaking of the comment section, I actually thank you to I forget your name, but one of you guys who commented to tell me if we go ahead here, we'll pick that one up really fast. You can hold shift. I didn't read the helpful tooltip on the right hand side, but thank you. You can freely rotate these things, which the miners, which is great. Oh, this is gonna be finicky. There we go. But yeah, thank you for that tip. Because you know I don't read anything that shows up. I choose not to read instructions or helpful tool tips. I choose to ignore them. And I also saw, yes, the Dark Cloud, the combat update. Once that happens, then the game goes from just pure PvE to well, not really even PvE, but right now it's just player versus themselves, right? Because you're designing your factory and you kind of run into your own sort of dilemmas. Or maybe PvG, right? Player versus the game mechanics in terms of playing. But then once they add actual hostile entities that you have to contend with, well, then it becomes PvE, in my opinion. Right? Because now you actually have to fight your environment a little more. So we're going to go ahead and finish up crafting these circuits. Then we'll go ahead and finish the research. And then we'll go ahead and get that. Episode 2. I don't know if I said that. But yeah, we're on episode 2. Not again, not that that matters a whole lot other than you guys already know it's episode 2 and yeah, whatever. I like stating the obvious. My middle name is Captain Obvious right next to I don't read instructions or helpful tooltips. I like going into a thing blind. We do need to get some magnetic coils. We'll probably go ahead and start researching some mech upgrades soon and some other tidbits, but for now, I think we'll kind of just begin our early production. So now that we have logistics, we can build belts and we can build sorters, which is kind of, I don't know. I find it a little deceptive calling it a sorter because in my opinion, it acts just like an inserter in Factorio. It allows you to basically pull something from a belt, which is nice. It's kind of like just a filter inserter from Factorio. We also get storage now. Yeah, I know. We also get storage now so we can make some chests. So we do have a finite inventory here, and we can expand it through research. Research somewhere in here. I just saw it here, right here. Inventory capacity. So we can upgrade it quite a bit, as you can see. Basically doubling, I think, our initial. Actually, more than doubling, I believe. Because it's one whole row. Which is basically, if you imagine, it's like 4 rows. And we can get 6, so it's a little over. So let's go ahead and go replicator, and then let's go ahead and make. Let's go ahead and make 9 of those. We have quite a lot of resources right now on us, and thanks to these. Oh, that one doesn't have power yet. Let's go ahead and get. Let's go ahead and get 10 of those, and then I want to get. Some of those. I like how it gives you a little bit of conveyor belts and a little bit of sorters, which is nice. Why are we draining power? Oh, I forgot, because we're crafting, huh? Yes, we do have those. Thank you for telling me, game. Alright. So once we get the alloy smelting, then we can smelt the ore, right, in furnaces. Awesome. So I guess now we can go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and unlock... Oh no, we need stone brick, which means we have to go ahead and mine some stone. So just like in Factoria, how you have random stones all over the place, same thing is true here. Ooh, and we got some titanium ore out of that. That's nice. We won't be using that for a little bit. And some silicon. All this crafting is depleting our stores of energy. Oh no! Insufficient energy stores. Whatever will we do? Besides just stand still and eventually generate power. So we're going to go ahead and get the main quest, or rather main tech unlocked. I don't know if I would look at these as techs so much as quests, or kind of a mix of both, I suppose. So the electromagnetic matrix here basically gives us a research lab and the ability to make beakers, which allows us to then do other things, which will be good. Oh no, we are out of power. So then we can open this and throw in a fuel rod. And now we have all the power we will ever need. Well, for like 5 minutes. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw... Go ahead and throw that down. So, just like in Factorio, these belts operate in a 1-to-1. So see how it will collide? So what we can do is we can do that. And so then it's going to pull in. And you can see... So the ore can go here, and then we can keep bypassing it as well. But we need to make sure we get power, so let's go ahead... and see how far we can stretch. So there will still be some tiles that it doesn't necessarily reach. I suppose we don't need this one, because they are connected that way. Now let's go ahead and throw down some more power. And you can see here, so we can't put one until we're too close, but we can put one here. We put one here. Put one here. And we can't put one here, but... Let's see, we put another one there. And luckily, these don't need a... Like, we don't have to put power poles between these. They will all have... they're all connected to the grid, effectively, in their own way. With a 2.3 meter long belt... Oh, yeah, I forgot. So if you go ahead and click on your statistics panel, you bring up all these different stats. So you have metadata, so it shows you what they are. So you have meta EM, meta energy, meta structure, and so basically just like beakers, and how you have production beakers, logistics beaker. These are effectively the same, right? So you have EM, so the electromagnetic. You have energy. Structure, and so kind of each of these is its own tier in building, or kind of stage of progression, just like the beakers in Factorio saw them named after. So in this case, it's you're working with these, and then eventually you work on mainly structure, and eventually you work here. As you can see, we can get realized metadata 1-to-1 as matrices and send them to the inventory. So basically doing this effectively converts this into in-game usefulness, and then even down here we can see the amount for this as well. We can also see achievements through here. We can see performance test, so you can see what the CPU runs off of. Basically, what I kind of like is So in Factorio, you know how you have FPS and UPS, or at least for those of you who are familiar with Factorio. Dyson Sphere Program, I remembered this time, DSP, has kind of this in-game kind of task manager, if you will, but not in the same sense. Mainly it's like a resource monitor, so you can see here what your CPU is doing, what your GPU is doing in the data being used. And what's nice is it shows you what's utilizing the most. So like we can see the whole factory is using this much. We can see the planet itself is using this much. We can see the GPU, what's using what, and then on the CPU side we can see, okay, well, what's using what. So it becomes nice, especially when you're trying to fine-tune your factory over the course of a whole system, or a whole like cluster, star cluster. It helps to kind of be like, oh, well, my storage is using a lot, but not really, because it's a static entity, right? Well, it could be static. It could also be a dynamic storage, depending on how you use it, right? We could use it as a buffer. We could say, okay, well, the rocket's using a lot, or we could say, okay, oh, the power system's using quite a bit. How can we tune this to use less, or however you want to look at it. We can also take a look at the Dyson Sphere, and so we can see kind of the different stages you're going to hit. So solar sails, structure points, and cell points. And we can also see research and how that's working, and then along with power as well. And these just gets into other statistical data as well. So just like Factorio has statistical data, so does this. We could also see here with production, and we can also go ahead and see milestones. So it kind of reminds me of a CPU. Kind of an old style one, I suppose. I mean, new style or modern CPUs are still defined in this way, but I don't know, it just reminds me of kind of that old school, like early 2000s, like CPU look, like anytime show or something would show up. So you can see all the different milestones you can hit, and you can also see what they are the requirement to unlock it. So produce a universe matrix would unlock this one. For instance, this one up here would be Dyson Sphere Cell. Pretty good. And then say down here would be unipolar magnet, and then what we need to unlock. And so this just kind of tracks your progress more or less in the factory as a whole, and eventually the end goal. So here we have ore coming out. It goes into here, and so then we have to select recipe. So unlike so in Factorio Vanilla, you can just put stuff in a furnace and it will smelt. In this, you have to select a recipe, just like you have to in like an assembler. So it's going to go ahead and make some of this. So, and what I like is it tells you, just like the bottleneck mod, tells us it's working, or is there a lack of material, and so that tells us, hey, this isn't fast enough. So what we could do is we could take another one and plug a second one in. And so now we have two going in and out. And so you can kind of see how there's this like little grabber. I'm going to get a good angle on it. There's this kind of like orange grabber on the top. So it like comes over, picks it up, moves it in. Comes over, picks it up, moves it in. What I will say this game could definitely use an update on is just these graphical models here. So it's just the picture of the ore on kind of a block. I know it's probably more than likely a placeholder, but I would definitely be excited to see that model updated into some sort of 3D, because I think some of the other items have proper 3D items. Alright, so let's do the same thing over here. One thing to note is, so you don't have to go into your inventory to like pick up your furnace. You can also order things around, by the way. I don't know if you knew this or not. So for instance, if you want to sort things like by hand, you can go ahead and put things however you want. Or if you don't want to go into your inventory because it's all a cluttered mess like mine will probably likely look like, you can just go ahead and select your build mode, and you can just select here. And if you notice, so see how there's no number in the bottom right hand corner of this wind turbine, but there's a 7 in the bottom right hand corner of the Tesla tower. That means we have 7 Tesla towers built, and here we have no wind turbines built. So if we click it, it says not enough items, double click to open the replicator. So if we do that, it opens it onto this, then we can produce them from here. So it's handy if you don't want to go searching for your inventory and you just want to know if you have one. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and make one. So let's go ahead and throw one of those down. And so belts do move in one direction, just like in Factorio. And then don't forget we have to power. And then we also have to go ahead and set. So you can see what else it takes. So to make magnets, just iron ore, and then to make stone, it's just stone as well. And then I do need one to make stone, so I'm gonna just place that right next to it. It's kind of our early. Kind of our early game, if you will, on that. And then just like in Factorio, you don't want to have to go into the furnace. Alright, so if you don't want to go like in, you can shift click all the ore, you can just control left click on it from pretty far away actually. And it'll pull it all into your inventory, which is pretty good. So the things we need are, we need 2 more circuits. So let's go ahead and make 2 more circuits. Let's go like so, like so. Sure, let's make 10. We'll need them. Awesome, so that's going to go ahead and get us that. So now we have proper labs ready. We can get real science going. One thing that's kind of important to note is we're kind of hemmed in, right? So we're limited by what landmass we're on. So it's like, okay, well, what do we do? Well, there's a few different things we can do. One of the things we can do is we can actually level things on the planet, along with leveling and kind of raising the dirt over here. But that's not something we have access to just yet. So it's something we're going to have to research. I believe that's somewhere on here. Maybe not. Particle control technology? Is that it? No. Orbital, photon. What's under upgrades? Drive engine. Gray blueprint. It's environment modification right here is what we want. It's one of these. It's pretty early game, because I remember doing it, but it might have moved. Oh, it's right here. It was staring at me in the face the entire time. Basically, we create a foundation, which it's like concrete in Factorio, so it effectively allows you to have that nice kind of factory look, but it also allows us to collect soil from high spots. So if we look, oh, not like that. If we look kind of at the ground and how there's kind of these bumps and hills, well, everything gets leveled out, but these high points get turned into extra soil that we can put here in this water and fill it in and make it all one smooth area for us to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and make us another miner. So let's make 1 miner, and then I want to go ahead and make, not an assembler. I would like to make... Oh, I was reading assembler. Like I said, I don't read things very well. Things are going to be a little bit slow because we are waiting for our energy to come back. It was one of those a little bit of annoying things you have to contend with for a while. At least until either A, you upgrade your mech, or B, you get a proper source of like fuel. So for instance, we could get... Actually, I'm going to do that. Because otherwise, well, if I stop thinking about it, then I won't do it. I'm going to get a miner and put one on stone, and get another miner and put one on coal. It doesn't really matter. Kind of where we put it. I suppose we put it there. So we had to wait for our energy to refill, so let's go ahead and just chop a tree down. Use this as fuel. Oh, we do have one more fuel cell, so let's use that, I guess. So, just like with all things, we have to go ahead and use like that. So notice we can go ahead and there we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and start getting stone built up at a fairly nice rate. Doesn't have to be too fast. And we'll also get one over here. Even if you have one crafted, you can go ahead and also still double click and it will open up the replicator. Go ahead and throw another miner down here. Something like that, I guess. And then let's go ahead and grab another storage unit. So, see how you can't put it in? Lack of item, right? So we do only have 4 on us, but it wouldn't let us put it in anyway. But what we can go ahead and do, make me one. So you know what, probably make me a few. So we are gonna need them. And then I will say I like the grid. Now it's a little cliche, if you will, to kind of do grid. I like the kind of grid feeling I get. Throw some plant fuel. So notice that you can't put one, say, here on another one. You have to do it in another way. But with this coal, now we can go ahead and throw it in. Awesome. So there we go. Now we have coal and stone automated and a little bit of a bigger power grid. Kind of some more things going on. Alright, well, I think that's it for today, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.